I'm here with Josh and Gene from Brekhus Marble and Granite, and we're going to talk a little bit about their experiences prior to digital templating and afterwards. They have both experience with the LT55 and ProLiner product, and I'm going to try to get some feedback from them on that. So, you've been using digital templating now for how long do you think?
About a year.
About a year. And prior to that, it was what? Sticks and glue?
Yes.
All right. So, for everybody to hear, you think your scrap rate was how much with sticks and glue? I mean, I'm talking about rework, where you got to regrind, recut, rebuild.
Mistakes were probably 12%. Every job there was something to do. There was scribing, there was something to do.
And how much work on the job site, where your guys are grinding or chewing drywall or body checking pieces into the wall? How much time was spent on that?
To get 120 square feet in a day from an excellent install crew was very difficult to do. And they came back. There was a lot of animosity in our shop. They felt like maybe we didn't know what we were doing. We felt like maybe they didn't know what they were doing. And it was neither. It was just a difficult procedure, and for many reasons. And this has eliminated that for us.
So you told me earlier that you went from 120 feet a day install for a two-man crew.
2 or 3 men.
2 or 3 men to how much now the same size crew?
450, 500.
So 3 times the installation capability with the same amount of people. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And the scrap percentage, it used to be 12%, is what now?
0.
Well, you got to make some mistakes.
No, we have not made one mistake. I have every file I've ever done in this company say we not had one templating error, not one piece recut because of the template.
So what would 12% of a given volume be for a company like yours?
Let's see, 375 jobs we've done with the LT.
So 12% of that.
12% of that, let's average it out at say $6,000 a kitchen. That's about the right average.
Okay, so you got $6,000, but 375
times $6,000.
Oh no, the first time's 12%. So you scrapped 45 kitchens times $3,000. Your cost?
Yeah, our cost, yeah, $3,000.
So $135,000 worth of scrap was reduced for buying a $13,000 laser.
And the paperwork, the templates, the procedure, the way, especially if you have all state-of-the-art equipment like we do, it just works. We scan, these things follow the jobs, it's beautiful. It helps your management and your team in the shop become one. And it helps you eliminate the small, overlooking sinks, overlooking edge detail, overlooking radiuses, overlooking the customer's name, the color, anything. It's all there. It's printed out, it's scaled. It's the actual cut template, which is unbelievable. There's no way to deny that what you just cut is what you're looking at, and there's no discrepancy. And if there is a problem, then you know where it is. It comes right back home, and you correct it easily. There's no finger pointing. There's no questioning. And when you have a guy that implements this machine the way he does, and then the way I do it here is simple, we don't worry about it. We don't have anything come back in our face, and our guys, they never question it. Never.
And what did you spend a year in glue on?
Oh God, I don't know. We still have cases of propane and sticks, glue sticks, just paperwork.
But we also went down from 2 templates to just 1.
Yeah. Mark.
So for the same kind of volume, you went from 2 stick templators to 1 digital templater.
Less volume, yeah.
Plus, when it was stick templates, I would always have to come in with Josh, and me and him would have to spend time together going over it, and I would just go over everything. And now, I basically don't even have to bother Josh at all. I just go in, I fix everything myself, and then I send an email to him, and he's able to do it.
Yeah, I open it up, bam. I don't question it. When we first got this, we were new. So we sat down on every job. 2 weeks later, we realized we were wasting our time. Look, you know what you're doing? You send it to me, it is good. It's simple as that. These guys are the same way. We send it out there.
So when you send a crew out, do they actually bring tools? Now I know a lot of guys don't even give tools anymore.
I mean, they have a good, a light load. You're always gonna have something. You got your cooktop cut out. Yeah, you're gonna do
yeah.
You got, always gonna have a little something, shop vac. But I mean, honestly, these guys are still getting paid the same money to install a kitchen that they literally go out and they put into place like a puzzle. The hardest part of their job is connecting the seams and lifting the pieces. I used to install, and I literally fabricated in people's front yards. I've done undermount sink cutouts in people's front yards. It's embarrassing and it's horrible. I mean, I've scribed. It was a nightmare. I can go out after not installing for 5 years and install 200 square feet a day with a guy that's never done it before. It's that easy. The sinks are perfect. It's just the wall, the way it's drive, it literally fit like a puzzle.
Now, you used another system, you used ProLiner. And you still have one, right? And what I'd like you to explain to people that have ProLiners that are looking at the laser is, okay, you've switched most of your work off the ProLiner to the laser. And in some cases, you use the laser software to make the ProLiner a little nicer because they don't really have, right? Their software is just what?
It's nothing. It's almost like an Etch-a-Sketch. When it comes in, it's just, basic lines. There's no color detail. There's really nothing. And if you wanted to put that into play with the ProLiner, it's difficult. It takes a lot of time. You need a guy.
So your primary tool to measure with now is what, 2? You're up to 2 now or 3? In terms of LT55s?
2.
2, okay. What are most of the features you like more about the LT55? If somebody was thinking about buying a ProLiner, what would you say to them?
Software.
I would tell them don't buy it. I would tell them get an LT55, and that's hands down. I mean, I'm not just saying that. That's the truth because it's a fact. ProLiner is a good piece of equipment. I know I say that because it's true.
Yeah.
But it's twice the cost, 3 times maybe.
Oh, twice.
Twice the cost. It's a paperweight. You got to have a guy that knows CAD, knows templating for 15 years. He's got to come in and go over it with another guy that knows this stuff. You got $150,000 just in employees.
Yeah. So the internal processing, let's talk about that for a second, is a lot longer.
It's a lot longer. It's basically a digital stick template, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, okay.
Without the transport headache of the sticks.
Now, did you send yours in yearly for calibration and stuff?
The string would get fuzzy at the end, so it wouldn't come back. It wouldn't retract all the way back in. So the first 3 jobs we did when I was here with that ProLiner, and they were some big jobs, all wrong. They were all wrong. They were all garbage. And that's what
because
it was.
they claim that just moisture and humidity and dust in the air causes the little roller to catch a different measurement, like an old tape recorder, reel to reel. But they ask you to send it in at least once a year to have it calibrated. Did you do that?
No, because it was ridiculous expensive.
I think it's $1,200.
It was $2,000 to get up to Florida, and it was a 6-week wait. And we didn't have any other digital template at that time. So what we did was we took a cloth and we tried to get the little hairs off the end and make sure it repelled every time. So it took 2 to 3 times longer to actually template because of that. After $15,000 in mistakes. After that, we went back to stick templating actually.
Yeah.
We were using the ProLiner. We went back to stick templating, and then we got another 50. Now we use our ProLiner, and like you said, we use the software. We bring it in, and we clean it up with that, which makes it decent.
So what was the scrap rate on the ProLiner?
For us,
Yeah.
in terms of overall use, I'd say close to 50%.
So worse than sticks?
Oh yeah, way worse than sticks. I mean, you got guys that did sticks since 1950.
Yeah.
They were like artists with them. I mean, they were a pain in the butt, but they were right. This thing, there were so many quirks. Sometimes it would turn your file upside down if you changed elevations. If you didn't notice it didn't retract all the way, you're off whatever it is there the whole way.
Was there some difficulty with trying to get into a corner with the stylus? Because your body was in the way of the string?
Well, yeah. I mean, I could get up there easy. I'm really nimble, but Mark, that used to work here, the guy, he I literally thought he was going to have a heart attack sometime. He'd come back, oh, God, man.
Now, you do some big work too, right?
We do really big
some
work.
high distance stuff. So with the ProLiner, you were kind of limited to the 16-foot string or whatever?
Very limited.
Yes, we just did one a month ago at Cruise Field, and I would say the top was about 1,200 inches long, and it went like straight, but then it had some curves in it. And it had existing tops with existing wood on the top. And we had to get back to the wall. And we were looking at it, and I took both machines out, and what I figured out was that if I dropped below the countertop, I could actually shoot below and get to the wall, and we scribed the wall. And I did it perfectly. And it was actually a 4-seating job, so it had subtops on it. And we actually did was we got the file, and he cut the wood. So that way when the installer went out to get it, the wood, the countertop, everything just matched to the walls perfectly. And it was a simple.
It's an amazing machine, hands down. It's not just the ProLiner, it beats everything. I've been around in this industry since 1998. and I watched Easy Template be created. I
E-template.
was it E-template? Yeah. I'd watch these guys come in and give me this demonstration. I worked for a company that bought it, and it was garbage. And I literally thought after the ProLiner coming here, I said, man, digital templating's a gimmick. I really seriously thought it was a gimmick. JP comes in with a product. I was a little apprehensive. I'm like, I don't know, man. Within a half hour, I'm just like with my jaw like this. Especially being a guy that does the programming for machines, knowing what that does for my job, it really saves me a lot of time. I mean, it saves me so much. It saves me a lot of time. To do this right here, I sit down for an hour and a half drawing that out. You know, and it wouldn't have all this detail if I wanted to put that in there, that texting, all that. It takes a long time. It's pointless. Right here, I clean this up in 10 minutes. I spend more time double checking everything, and not the template. The customer's information, our salespeople's information, our own stuff, our own backyard is what we have to keep clean. This thing helps us do it. I mean, it's simple as that.
What else would you tell people?
I'd say if you bought a templating system, get the LT55. If you get anything else, you're going to get an LT55 and regret the decision. I'm serious. You can test them. Just test them. Get a demonstration, do a demo. Go see what they're about. It won't take long.
I think when JP came in, he actually templated this top.
Yeah, he did.
And when first thing that popped in my head was with the ProLiner, you could probably get the outside. How would you get the cabinet bases? You would probably have to set it down for, and it would just be a nightmare. With the LT, he just raised it up. He shot this, then he shot the cabinet bases. As you can see, some of these were kind of crooked. He actually showed it to us on the screen, and we came and we measured everything, and everything was down to this.
See, that brought me back. I'm blown away again. There's so many more things you don't even think about. They're so cool. It takes pictures
Yeah.
as it goes. You know how useful that is?
So some of the major points that we see as a difference between a ProLiner and the LT. A, it doesn't take pictures. And if it did, you'd have a separate camera. You got memory disks. You don't have to connect it to the files and stuff like that. And then the limit of 16 feet. The fact that you got to maintain it once a year, that you're down for a week or whatever. The biggest thing that we think it is the necessity for the operator to have a good working knowledge of CAD. Whereas with our product, if you speak Polish, French, German, Chinese, whatever, you work in your language. You know, you see backsplash or bump out or something like that, as opposed to some CAD symbol that everybody. Now you're a CAD guy, you do some too, but what I'm saying is, for the people out there that don't want to learn CAD, because it's tough, and if you have to hire a guy to operate your new digital templating system, whatever it is, other than ours, then you're going to pay a lot more money.
Almost a dummy can do it.
Well, we've seen videos of the 7-year-old girl and the 82-year-old woman digitizing.
I mean, you
yeah.
need to be a smart person to do anything.
Know something about the countertop
You need
industry.
to have a good knowledge base about what you're involved in, and most of the times you will. If that's what you do.
Yeah.
And if you have that, this is an awesome product. This is no two ways about it.
What I know too is that we've been having a lot of people come in. I'm sure every shop does this. People bring in hand drawings. They don't want to have paid the money to spend on templating.
Yeah.
They bring in hand drawings. Well, before Josh would have to go, and he'd have to do it in CAD, but they give them to me all the time. And I draw my box, and I'm able to ask questions that maybe either the salespeople just don't figure, like the kind of curves on there, any kind of arts, colors, because when the salespeople get it, they think, oh, it's a square box, here, give it to them, but I'm able to ask any kind of question because I'm used to asking questions when I go out to template, and when I get it to him, it's already perfect.
Done.
Yeah, it's done. It's amazing. I had another point. You'll see if you get one. I can't remember what it was. I was going to tell them about it. It's really cool. There's so many things like that where you're just like, oh, it does that too.
Drop it.
Oh, the customer can sign the screen? Get
Yeah.
out of Dodge. I mean, you know how great
Well,
that
you haven't
is?
even used all that stuff yet, because they can sign the estimate, they can sign the shop ticket, the worksheet, the photographs. My favorite photograph is the woman with her hand on the slab, the big date, just like that. And then when they complain about the finish a week later, the judge will just throw that one out.
Oh, and from start, it's amazing. Finish, because you know how easy it is to take all those pictures, anything you do in the shop, and just email it back to the customer?
Well, that's why we say it can be totally paperless if you want to do that.
It can be totally paperless. For the customer and the fabricator, absolutely. Absolutely.
And could you imagine the builder complaining because there's a gouge in the cabinet base and you have a picture that his superintendent signed of a gouged up cabinet base with no tops?
And his signature across the screen.
Done.
You're covered.
And I like this better than the glues, is that when I used to do the glue templating, when you put up against a straight piece of, we used to do plastic strips.
Yeah.
it would never be able to contour the wall.
Yeah.
And then I guess you could do it if you like
Bunch of little
strive
tiny
it,
pieces,
depending
yeah.
how long that would take
100-degree heat, you might as well have done it anyway. They come
And
back
then
like
no matter
this.
how perfect you are, you're never gonna get that right to that wall. And it just, and then like I'm building islands also, and when you're doing it with glues, it's pretty permanent, and you can make some modifications. But I've gone to a lot of places where these people just don't have a clue of what they want.
Yeah, because with ours you could put a 2-inch bump out and they go, oh, that's not enough, put a little more. So you reset and put a 3-inch bump out, oh, that looks good, and you just copy that.
And the way we actually did it one time was the customer just didn't know what he wanted, and he goes, you know what? I think I want my tabletop edge because it went like this. It came out to a point. We actually did it. We went in, we templated that, and it was actually a little bit bigger. I brought it into Josh and he kind of scaled it down to fit on there, and he actually kind of put it on top of his tabletop, and it matched the tabletop.
We
And
went-
we thought that was the best thing.
We went from having 3 huge contracts when I started here, huge, that were almost going bye-bye. We got the LT55, we started cutting 21 slabs in an 8-hour day. That's all I gotta say about that. And this is 3 huge projects in 3 different places in the mountains. And it went like clockwork and it saved us. I think the LT saved us, too.
It's good stuff. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully everybody out there that's thinking
Thank
about, this or the ProLiner or some other products can take this information. This is from the cameraman. This is from, fabricators to you, okay? Thanks a lot.